Go. Just give me a couple more minutes and we'll start. Okay. So what I intend to do today is also doing multicasting, which means I am actually Zooming and also streaming into my Facebook Live as well, so that if people do not know about this, they would know about it now. So I just set it up, everything's going. Okay, so now I am ready to go and let's start. My name is Guno Sotiano. Let me introduce myself. I'm the host today, and I'm going to talk about the topic about how to optimize the Social Security benefit. So let me introduce myself for those people who don't know who I am. Um, I have been doing high-tech software industry for over 20 years, and I was the director of a Fortune 500 company for a while. And then the last corporate job I have is I was the regional director for Asia Pacific countries, including Japan, Taiwan, Korea, China, and also Singapore. And then about 10 years ago, I had a tech startup for running it's for the mobile software and iPhone. It was the early stage of iPhone, so I was doing a lot of app work in there. And then I did 5 years of that, and I was sold it to it was being acquired by a bigger company, and then I make it a little bit profit and leave that industry. And then about 5 years ago, I started to change to the financial industry, and I'm life and health licensed. And also now after 5 years, I'm in a position of a director, senior director position, also a certified trainer. And additional to that, I also spent a bit of time to explore the idea of helping students to get financial aid. So I'm also a consultant for college financial planning. And recently, I also started a business network group in the Silicon Valley. It's called Elevated Networkers of Silicon Valley. If you are in the Silicon Valley and you're interested to join my networking event, you can look up with that word, Elevated Networkers of Silicon Valley. And unfortunately, for the past two months, we cannot meet in person. So, but however, we have, every 2 weeks, we'll have a virtual meetup that we can meet a lot of business owners in the United States, actually in the United States and Canada as well. So it will be very worthwhile for you to connect as well. So come to my meetup and check it out, and look for the meeting invites, and join my my network group. Okay, so I'll help you to connect with the different people. That's about me. Let's talk about the topic today. The topic today is talking about Social Security. This is kind of intriguing to me a little bit. I have always been wanting to do this for a while, but however, only recently that that I have a chance to sit down and prepare the material. So I'm going to share with you about Social Security, right? In fact, a lot of people who have been here for a while and work for a while, we pay a lot of taxes on the Social Security and Medicare, and we kind of expect that we should get something, right? So let's see who actually eligible to get Social Security, right? Number one, you have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, right? That has to be. And also, there's a requirement that you have to pay contribution to Social Security tax for over 10 years. How it works is actually more technically, it's actually 40 credits. What does it mean by 40 credits? 1 credit means each quarter, every 3 months you worked, that's 1 credit. if you collect 40 credits, basically you don't have to work in consecutive 10 years, but if you work enough quarters that you have 40 credits, which is added to be aggregated to be 10 years, then you are eligible to get Social Security benefit when you retire. And how do you get 1 quarter? What is the minimum for 1 quarter? Well, actually pretty small. So it is about $1,320 per quarter to qualify 1 credit. So essentially, if you have income that you file in the tax that is over $5,280 a year, then you get 4 credits. So this is essential. A lot of people, especially I'm talking to the new immigrants, right? They came here for 10 years doing nothing, right? Maybe they're older, retiree and stuff like that. If they do nothing, they will not have any credits. Now, although if you do something and get paid for $5,280, you probably won't get a lot of Social Security benefit. However, the same requirement for the Medicare, which is you are entitled to free medical Part A, basically kind of a doctor visit, a hospital visit for free if you have 40 credits. Think about it. If you want to qualify for Medicare by age of 65 for free, you better accumulate enough credits to qualify for a free premium, right? So $5,280 a year, essentially $52,800 over 10 years, you will be qualified for a free premium of Medicare. But that's what's Medicare and everything else. That's a separate topic. So I'm not going to explore that. But however, the qualification is very similar to the Medicare. So for whatever it worth, it's worthwhile to get yourself paid for 10 years, even as low as $5,280 a year, okay, to get the credit, okay? And then for the Social Security benefit, coming back to it, the full retirement age for the Social Security benefit is age 67, right? And then, but however, you can start claiming Social Security benefit as early as 62 years old. But of course, it will be reduced of the amount that you can claim, right? And then also there's in my video already talk about the actuaries already know that it is going to be insolvent by 2034. By 2034, people are not sure what Social Security is going to be look like. I personally don't think they will go away. It is kind of a pretty common problem in other countries, especially the socialistic country like Canada or European. They have very good social program. However, they enter into the old age pension or similar to Social Security benefit problem much earlier. I've seen them when that happen, that they don't have enough money in there. What they're going to do is a few things, which I'm going to explore, which you don't have to too worry about that Social Security is going away. But however, if the government is not doing anything, the Social Security benefit might not be as good as what we see right now, right? This is why, Social Security in the 1960s, essentially it is like the money get paid is really based on people who are paying taxes, right? So in 1960s, there are like 5.1 person who work and pay taxes to support one retiree. By 2009, 3 person is supporting one retiree. And then we project in 2030, it go down to 2.2 person to one retiree. Right? We look at the age and kind of the demographics right now. It's kind of like it's pretty bad, because one of the things that the reason is because people are living longer, right? Longer doesn't mean you work longer. It's just that you live longer. The retirees, the population of retirees will be more and more. That would exceed the burden that the Social Security tax can support. Now, if we project 2030 as 2.2 to 1, it's not enough. At least it has to be in 3-to-1 ratio to make it work. So, well, then it's a simple math, right? So look at the left side. What could the government do? A few things. Number one is that they will reduce benefit as much as 20%. Well, 20% is basically from two supporting one to three to supporting one, essentially, right? So you can reduce the benefit by 20%, right? You'll get 20% less the promised payment. Or you can raise the Social Security tax by 50%, right? Understandably, right? Two-person each pay 50% more is equivalent to three-person supporting one person, right? Or you delay the retirement to say age 70 from age 67, right? These are all the different flavors I've seen in different countries who have been dealing with this kind of problem. But unfortunately, even by now, the government hasn't do anything about it. My wife is actuary. Actually, she deal with she's actuary to deal with the government pension and also a lot of union pension. And she told me that starting from 2021, the Social Security benefit is actually paying out more than coming in. So essentially, it's starting to be negative. It's started depleting the reserve. So it's serious. And government hasn't have a proposal on the desk yet. So this is pretty sad. But they have to deal with it very quickly, right? So otherwise, it could be really, if they don't do anything, it will deplete to zero. So that by 2034. So we'll be seeing some kind of things. Some proposal will be coming up in the next 5 years, I'm sure. But I think it's pretty much going around that three type. I think all a combination of three, right? So I think the Social Security tax will go up. It will delay the retirement age, probably not to 70, probably by 1 year, or reduce benefit somewhat, like 5% or 10%. So that's what the impact of Social Security. However, if you were to claim the Social Security by 2033, you'll be okay. Once you start claiming, they cannot change. They have to grandfather it, so they cannot reduce it, right? So you have to time yourself. I personally somehow fall right into that category. So I'm still okay. By the time I actually retire, I probably will claim it by 2030-ish for when I calculate it. But for you have more than 10 years to retirement, then you have to really watch out for what the government is going to change in terms of the Social Security benefit. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so first the poll. Let's see. What do you think is the most? Let me launch the poll. Okay, here's the question. So you should be able to see it now, and please type your answer. When do you think the best age to start Social Security benefit for yourself? 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, or 70? Or 70 plus, right? So do your finger, so click down, and I hope to get at least 50% of the vote before I move on, right? So right now I have 28% of the vote in. So it's a guess, if you don't know, it doesn't matter. You just follow it. Again, I said the full benefit is 67. That's the full pension, and then you'll get a discount when you claim it earlier. Okay, so okay, 37%. I need a few more people to get involved. Just move your finger a little bit, right? Come on, don't stop. 40%, okay. 10% more. I just need about 3-4 more people, right? So just entertain a little bit. So I mean, the more people put in there, it'll be more interesting the vote result that we're going to review, right? Okay. Okay. Come on. Few more people. Can you see the vote? All right. All right. I'm going to end the vote soon. Okay, still coming up. A few more, right? 45% now, 45%, 5% and we'll be done. Just a couple more percent. Just make this statistic a little bit more fun, right? So what happened to the rest of the 20 people, right? 20, come on. So please do not sleep on me. A little bit interaction would go long. Trust me, if you move your finger, you will be more concentrated on my talk. All right, 2.5 minutes up for the poll. So I will review the result. And the result is, boom. You see it? So the most people select 65. And then the second one is 67 and tied with 62. Well, there's someone 66, someone 70, right? So which is like, so right now it's pretty close, right? There's 65. That sounds good enough. That's what I think it was, that's probably the age of what people want to get go retire, right? So all right, so let's move on. Stop sharing results. Okay, thank you for participation. Okay, next. All right. So when you look at the Social Security benefit, look at this on the right-hand side, 67 years old is the full benefit. Today, the maximum you can get is $3,011 per month. That's the maximum you can get if you qualify that much. And then you can see that each year if you want to start the benefit early, there will be the discount. So you see if you take it from 66, it will be 6.7 less, right? Percent. And 65 will be 13.3% less. And if you want to take it out starting at 62, then you are expecting 30% less pay per month. And by the way, once you elect to choose to start in that age, that amount would not change. You cannot grow back to the 67, right? Or that's what you have agreed to, because you take it earlier. You take it earlier. Of course, it will be kind of present value will be less, because you I assume you'll be taking more years, right, to collect, right? And then, but if you start to delay, oh, I don't want to take it in 67, then they give you a bonus, right? Of course, they don't want you to take your money because it's depleting. So if the more you can wait, the more they will reward you. So 67, if you wait for a year, they give you 8% more. And if you wait another 2 years, 8% more, right? You wait all the way to 70 years old, another 8%, right? So, but however, don't wait over 70 because there's no more bonus after 70. So if it's 71, it's the same pay. So why wait? By 70, you have to take it. Otherwise, you lose it, right? So, and however, one good news is that that it is expected to have a COLA. COLA is cost of living adjustment. So every year they will also adjust it based on the annual kind of cost of living adjustment. For the past 30 years or so, in average, it's about 2.5% adjustment every year, right? So it's not exactly 2.5 a year. Some years is 0, some years is 4. They come up to be around 2.5%. So the income, even if you start at 62 and say taking in 2011, 2,100, and every year if there's a COLA, your payment will be adjusted up based on the COLA. So it's not that bad. It's pretty good. Now the question is, should you start taking a 62 early or delay until 70? Right. So that's what we are going to talk about. So when you look at this graph, I plot everything up. So assuming you start from 62, taking a lower amount, but this is accumulation. The line means accumulatively how much total Social Security benefit you will collect. As you can see, the break-even point is around 80 years old. So what it means is that if you expect to live past 80 years old, the total benefit will be higher if you delay. If you don't expect to live past 80 years old, the earlier you start the payment, the better it is in terms of total payment, right? Get it? So that's the rough idea. This is the graph that's showing you 80 years old plus or minus 1 year is where the break-even point. If you're expected to live past 80 years old, yeah, delay might make some sense until later on. I will show you that, because sometimes just pulling your hair, you cannot predict the future, can you? Right? Am I going to live long? Am I going to live short? So it is really difficult to judge that, right? But later on, I will show you. Hopefully, I'll show you that something is less stressful, right? So we don't have to guess, right? Okay, but based on just Social Security, this is where it is, right? Okay, and in my promo, I say, hey, you might be eligible for bonus, 16,000 bonus. Believe it or not, there are statistics saying that a lot of people are missing out this bonus check. Why? Because people don't know that they are entitled for Social Security benefit. Or let's see who else are expected to get Social Security benefit beside the person who work for the 40 credits and take the Social Security. Number one, do you know if you're a spouse, you can also get Social Security benefit called spousal Social Security benefit. However, it is only taking the maximum of 50% of what your spouse, the working spouse, is getting, right? So in this case, I already look at the 66 years old, 67 years old. Then if the maximum is 2,800, then the maximum you can get is 50%, which is 4,800. And then there's also a discount if you start to take it before the 66, which is the full spousal benefit. 62 will be 30%, 35% off the spousal Social Security benefit, right? So there's a degradation of the money you will take, and but this is different from the normal Social Security benefit where you might want to wait until 70 years old to get it, because that will have a bonus, right? The year you beyond that, you do have 8% bonus, but not for spousal benefit. Spousal benefit, the full retirement age is where you can maximize it. So even if you want to delay, do not delay beyond 66 or 67. Actually, mostly likely 67 by the time you get there. So no reason to wait beyond 67. Okay. Who else? Who else can claim that check? Well, divorced spouse, ex-spouse. If the person is divorced from the person who are claiming the Social Security benefit, then you are entitled to get a spousal benefit as well. It's exactly the same spousal benefit, but the requirement is that before the divorce, the couple has to be married for more than 10 years. Okay, and also that person, the spouse cannot be remarried, because the divorced spouse want to claim her ex-spouse, ex-husband, in terms of the Social Security benefit, that you cannot be remarried, because if you remarry, you belong to another family. So you will be tapping into the new family Social Security benefit. But as long as you're not married, not remarried, then you can claim your ex-husband or ex-wife Social Security benefit. Who else? Well, if you're a minor, and one of the parents already started Social Security benefit, which is basically talking about old parents and young kids, right? Nowadays, it is not uncommon, right? Older parents will already retire. The kids has not been, adult yet. Then the kids can also claim Social Security benefit, and the claim is about 50%, right? Maximum, and then, well, actually, it's just flat 50%, right? So, but it can claim up to the age of including 17 years old. But if the kid is 18 years old or 19 years old, is still in high school and not married, then those kids can also continue to claim the Social Security benefit. But when they turn to go to college or turn adults at 18 years old, then they are not qualified. And also, if the kids are disabled, then they can claim all the way up to age 22. Right? Okay. So see, a lot of people might not know that they can claim that, but that's a lot of checks and a lot of payment that they can claim. Okay, now what happens if the spouse who has not started, or whether they have started or not started the Social Security benefit, but they passed away? And could the widow or widowers claim? Yes, there is a survivor Social Security benefit, as long as the survivor is at the age of 2 years earlier, at the age of 60 or older. And if the surviving spouse is actually 50 years old and older but disabled, so it's actually come down to 50 years old. If it's disabled, then as early as 50 years old, you can claim it. Or the adult is the surviving spouse are taking care of a minor which is as younger than age 60 or disabled, right? So, and then that spouse can also entitled for the survivor benefit. And here's how it was being paid, right? So it is about 70%, right? So if you were paying it. And of course, I also have a discount. No, actually 100% when it's a full, if you are the full retirement age. And it can come down with a discount as low as by if it's 60 years old, will be 71.5%, right? And then it cannot go lower than 17.5. Even if you're a disabled widow, you are getting 71.5. It's not, there's no more discount under 60, right? So even 50 to 59, if you're disabled, you're still getting the same discount as 60 years old. And if it is you're carrying a child, then you're claiming 70% flat, 70% per kid of the Social Security benefit of your deceased spouse. Okay, there's a lot of numbers, right? So it's just give you a general idea who can claim it. Well, one more category. What about divorce? We have the divorced spouse. What if the spouse divorced but the spouse passed away, right? So the surviving divorced widows, it's kind of weird, but you can claim a check too. It's the same thing. The only requirement is that before the divorce, they have to marry by at least 10 years. But for the normal spousal benefit, all you require is at least 1 year of marriage, right? But for divorced widows, they have to be at least 10 years married before they divorce. Then the same thing, 60 years old, you can claim it, or 50 years old, and disabled, you can claim it. Same thing, if there's no other surviving spouse, you were responsible for the deceased child, then if they are younger than age of 16, you can also claim, right? The claiming is the same thing on the right hand side. So divorce or widow, divorce or not divorce, you can claim that check as well for the survivor benefit. All right. Good. Now, who else? Who else can get the survivor Social Security benefit? Well, unmarried children. If disease is well, one of the things that people might ask, like, does the disease have to be starting to claiming Social Security benefit? The answer is no. For example, if I worked over 10 years of my career, and I am just, let me mute a little bit. Okay. Mute all. Okay. say, for example, I worked at least 10 years. I already have 40 credits. I know my my security benefit. By the way, you can check your social security benefit by going to the ssa.gov. You can check under your name or social security number. You know that your projected monthly check. By the way, right? If you haven't checked it, go online and register and check it. As long as there is a projection, right? So I work for 10 years. I know I expected to get that much money when I got retired. So, but I passed away. Say, 50, 55, right? Then so the surviving widows, as long as they are 60 years old, they can claim it. But for unmarried children, right? If you have left a kid, very small age, right? Then the kids can immediately claim for the survivor social security benefit, right? As long as they're younger than 18 or 18 or 19 if they're still in high school. Right? Disabled before 22, right? So these are the people. In certain circumstances, I read that benefits also can be paid to stepchildren, grandchildren, or step-grandchildren, or adopted children, right? And the benefit is 75% of the projected full retirement income, right? Although he hasn't reached the retirement age, but because he passed away, then the projected full benefit, 75% of it will be the benefit for the married child or the minor. And also, for surviving benefit, if there are dependent parents, basically, if I have still a older parents, my father is still 90 years old, my mother is 70 years old, but whatnot. Then, as long as they pass 60 years old, and then they in my lifetime, I'm supporting both of them, right? Then they are entitled, if they're one parent surviving, they were entitled with 82.5% of my full social security benefit. If two are surviving, each of them will get 75% of my full benefit, right? That's for dependent parents, right? So, Social Security has a lot of way payout. So if you don't know, here it is. Okay, another vote's coming, just to keep you all awake. This is too much data. So the next question I have is, let me pull the second poll out. Here it is. It's a shorter question. How much of your Social Security benefits is taxable? Do you know whether when you collect Social Security benefit, are they taxable? All right, so if you believe it's 100% taxable, type 1, select the first one. 50% taxable, second. 85% taxable is third one. 100% taxable is the fourth one. If you don't know, just guess. Have fun. This one just A, B, C, D, random selection. And now the 24% are in, 27% of votes are in. I'm hoping to see at least 50% in, right? Click in. Can you see it? Click in there. If you are if you are coming in through the Facebook, you can drop it into your comment as well if you liked. I will look at the comments and see whether you want to select anything. For people who are dialing in a phone, just type it in the chat box. I'll see it too. 35% of votes coming in. I'll give you another 30 seconds. Okay. Guess. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Oh, I can see the number, although you cannot see the number yet, but I'm seeing the number coming in. And it is 40% of votes in. A few more, please. 40%, 44%. Very quickly. That will be. Okay, 44%. 10 more seconds before I close the poll. Okay, 10 more seconds. How come I cannot see myself? Let me pull myself up. I'm losing to see myself. There we go. I can see now. Okay, perfect. All right, NPO. And here is the result. Wow. More people think 100% is taxable. And there are few, well, actually it ties. The ties for the second, they are all the same now. It's like someone thinks 85%, someone thinks 50%, some things are tax free. Okay, let's see what happened, right? So let's continue to see the actual result. Stop sharing result. Okay, there you go. Let's move on. So the answer is, well, it can be 0%, 50%, or 85%, except 100% is not. This is how it was divided. If you are single, following a single, you make that year, you have taxable income of $25,000 to $34,000, then 50% of the Social Security benefit will be taxable. And if you make over $34,000, then 85% of your Social Security benefit will be taxable. If you file jointly, then amount will be higher, $32,000 to $44,000 in between. That is 50% of your Social Security benefit will be taxable. And making more than $44,000, then 85% of the Social Security benefit will be taxable. If you make jointly less than $32,000, then it's not taxable. Right? For single, less than $25,000, it's not taxable. But these are very low number, really low. It's most of people will probably be taxable. Then people argue with me and say, hey, when I'm retired, I'm not working. I have no taxable income. Really? Wow. Put it this way, where do your retirement income come from? Right? Do you have rental income? You know rental income is taxable, right? If you make more than $25,000 rental income, then your Social Security benefit will be taxable. Or do you have IRA or 401k or some other retirement incomes? Well, those are the pockets. Whenever you have to take money out, they are all taxable income. I'm sure if you have any retirement plan, you would have some sort of retirement income that will be, when you withdraw it, because you need to spend money, right? You have to expense your living. I'm sure you'll be very easily touching 25,000 or 32,000 for a family. So it ends up your Social Security benefit will be taxable very quickly. Sad, right? So those are the tax money, and then when you take it out, they have to tax you again. Now it's getting into very fun things, which I kind of enjoy doing. I do a lot of research and doing a lot of comparison. So here's this case study, right? The remaining of the talk, I'm talking about the case study. I have, starting with like 45-year-old female, right? Female live longer. Let's use female, okay? 45 years old female. She have to think about long-term retirement strategy, right? She's working individual, right? Now there are two ways. I mean, Social Security is not going to cover 100% of your retirement. And most studies say the best you can cover probably about in a range of 25% to 33% of your required retirement income. So you still have to come up with the rest of it, right? You still have to come up with the 60-some to 70% of the retirement income. How do you do that? You have to save it, or unless you have pension somewhere, right? You have to save it. So most people will save it in 401k or 403b, some qualifying retirement income or saving, right? 401k or IRA or something like that. So let's play a game. By the way, yeah. So I have 4 strategies right now. Number 1 is on the left side, the orange strategy, the red strategy is, you maximize your 401k contribution, right? Every single year, right? From 45 years old all the way to retirement, say 61, right? We don't want to touch 62, right? You might want to start taking Social Security at 62. So you optimize your 401k contribution if you're working, and then you decide, okay, 2 things. Do you want to start taking money out from 401k when you reach 62, when you start to retire, and delay the Social Security benefit to later on, to 70 years old? Or you want to take a Social Security benefit at 62 years old and take less out of the 401k, right, until 70, right? So that's one way to do it. The other way is that do not invest in the 401k, but invest something like some tax-free account. 401k, you have to be taxed when you get it out. So if people don't know what IUL is, it stands for Index Universal Life. At this position, I'm not going to explain too much about IUL as a life insurance vehicle, but it is a life insurance vehicle. But in this discussion, I'm using it as a generic saving account that you can accumulate without paying tax in the future when you distribute. It's kind of thing a more flexible Roth. If you understand what Roth is, ROTH, is essentially is you put the money into it after tax, using after tax dollar, and then you allow it to grow without any tax. It's a kind of tax defer, and then when you take it out, it's totally tax free. So it's a vehicle. If you can find some vehicle, it's kind of Roth. Roth has a limitation of how much you can put in there. But I use IUL because the limit is a lot less. It's more flexible. I can do a comparison with the 401k. If you know some other tax-free investment, you can let me know too. But this is kind of, I use it to compare it. So one is before tax dollar, 401k. One is after tax dollar into IUL, right? And I do the same thing. You can contribute until until 61 years old. By 62 years old, you can either withdraw from IUL and delay for Social Security benefit, or take a Social Security benefit as early as 62 and use IUL as a supplemental income. Okay, so let's see. Before that, I want to give general public a little bit explanation of what 401 is, right? Any qualified plan like 401k, IRA, 457, 403b, they are technically called qualified plan. And you have to understand, qualified plan is not free money. You get, yes, you do not have to pay tax now, but it doesn't mean you don't have to pay tax ever. So qualified plan is kind of like, when you think about it, it's kind of like a loan from Uncle Sam. You are supposed to give them the tax, but they allow you not to tax yet. So basically, Uncle Sam is loaning you money, but they will collect it in the future. And the picture I show here is this old handsome man is the name is Robert Kiyosaki. If you don't know who he is, he was a renowned author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, very as a bestseller in his book. A lot of people have read it. If you haven't, go to Amazon and search for his name under his book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And he's a really big advocate against the 401k. And he say, 401k, this is a scam. A few facts as well. I just pulled up a few reading. Right? The average annual fee charged by 401k plan is about 1.29%. And also average equity mutual fund charges in your 401k is about 0.68%. If this is from the Investment Zen, right? And when you add them together, if you have a 401k, you are basically costing you about 2% of your assets every year. It's pretty expensive. 2% is a lot, right? So if you're 401, that's why a lot of people look at the 401k, why they're not performing as well as the stock market outside, is because there are heavy fees associated with that. And also, when you ask Morningstar has published what should be consider a good rate of return on your 401k, and 5% is very good already, right? So if you would think that your 401k is going to earn you 7%, 8%, wake up, right? So most experts are actually saying that statistically 5%. Actually, I have a reason dealing with a customer that I look at her 401k, and she has it for 17 years, and the average return is 2.3%. I said, oh my goodness. So this is real data. I just thought it's like in the 401k, it's investing in some sort of mutual fund, didn't touch it for 17 years. I calculated returns about 2 point some percent. Why? Because it went through the year 2000, went through 2008. By the way, that 401k I reviewed, it was last year, right? Last year. It hasn't factored into this year, which had about 20% loss in the market, right? Because of the coronavirus. So however, I am willing to give 401k a little better return, right? So I'm using a very good return of 7.2. So what happened is that you invest $5,000 into the 401k or IRA. Remember, if you are in the 20% bracket, which most people are in, Uncle Sam portion is $1,000. Your money is $4,000 because you're supposed to get the $1,000 tax, but you didn't. They give it in there. You think you have $1,000 more to invest, great. But in fact, when I display it like that, it is like Uncle Sam is just piggy bank in your account to make money. So if you have a 7.2% average return, based on the rule of 72, basically what it means is that Einstein said that if you divide 72 by the return of interest, then you know how many years it's going to double. So 7.2 means every 10 years you're going to double your money. So 20 years double twice is 4 times. So your 5,000 is going to become $20,000, right? But if you look at the inside, you calculate, to be fair, Uncle Sam should make 4,000 and you should make, you should have 16,000. But at the end, when you want to withdraw 20,000 out, your tax rate might be at 35% at that time. Well, people say, well, how come it will be 35%? Well, I have already told a lot of people say, COVID virus, the stimulus check that the government is printing, they're printing money. That has to be coming from somewhere. It would very likely tax the future taxpayer. So would the tax rate go up or not? You tell me. And it's also Social Security, right? I just already mentioned Social Security is depleting like crazy. So where is the money coming from? Very likely there will be more tax in the future. So the tax rate going up, in general, public believe that it would be much higher in the future. We have the all-time high deficit in the country. So 35% is not really crazy high, really. I mean, we have seen even in the 70s, the marginal tax rate is as high as 70% to 80%. We are in actually the lowest marginal tax rate period, right? So we are really low in tax. But in the future, 35% is probably already conservative. So you want to take $20,000 out, and 35% tax withdrawal means that Uncle Sam would get you 7,000. You get 7,000 out of it, and you are only left with 13,000. Oops, you're not getting 60,000 now. 13,000. Actually, Uncle Sam make more money than you. Now, arguably, if you go into the Roth or IUL, basically, after tax, where you no longer have to pay tax policy or instrument, here's what you're going to be. Your investment probably is only 4,000 because you have to pay $1,000 to Uncle Sam already, right? Because you make 5,000, you pay 1,000 to Uncle Sam, right? You have $4,000. 4,000 4 times is 16,000. But good news is that when you take the 16,000 out, there's no tax. It's no tax because you already paid the tax. So in this case, you can see even you start with $4,000, which is less than what you have with the qualified plan, you end up higher. You end up keeping more. Sorry. So you can see that Uncle Sam, piggy bank $1,000 in your plan, is making $7,000. It's kind of like 10% per year for Uncle Sam in your account. You're making more money than you do, right? But of course, people will argue, hey, what if my 401k has matching? What does it mean? So what it means is that if you have like $5,000 invested in 401k and the company wants to match 1-to-1, the very generous company, right? Don't see that a lot. So match. So essentially, your 5,000 is in the plan. The company is going to give you $5,000. Where if you don't put in that plan, the $5,000 will become 4,000, right? So essentially, Uncle Sam also alone $1,000. Your plan will have $10,000 in there, right? And then 4 times after 20 years, you have 40,000, right? Uncle Sam is supposed to have 4,000, but at the end, you calculate the 35% tax return. Then Uncle Sam actually gets 14,000 out. Uncle Sam is happy, match as you can. I will make more money. 14,000 from 1,000 is kind of like, I don't know, 17% per year. This is crazy high. But of course, you end up with 26,000 because you got to keep a lot of company benefit. So in some sense, I would argue, yeah, if the company actually match, you might want to consider it. But it's a big but. But if you understand the Social Security benefit will also be taxed based on your income, right? If you make $26,000, that means your Social Security benefit will be taxed. Once you add the Social Security benefit taxation in there, Uncle Sam take more money from your remaining. In fact, I have calculated what is left for you if the Social Security tax of 85% is also in there. You only keep about $16,000. You end up the same as the Roth or IUL, right? So even matching, matching is not bad. I mean, I'll only pay up to the matching amount and then do not put more than what's necessary, right? Otherwise, it's a more kind of a losing proposition, right? So now you understand 401k is not free money, it's a loan from Uncle Sam. And in fact, at the end, you likely lose more than you benefit because you're making money for Uncle Sam instead for you. So let's see the 4 different type of investments. First, we'll say strategy 1. There's A and B, right? Invest in 401k. The strategy 1 is they say, I would delay Social Security benefit till 70 years old, but I will start taking the 401k money first, right? And by the way, and I expect 7.2 average return, which is very aggressive, right? As I already shared. Then during the years 62 to 69, on the left side, I would not take any Social Security benefit. But however, I would take the full Social Security benefit as if I was 70 from my 401k. And assuming I'm going to be a 35% tax bracket, then you actually have to take out about $68,935 per year from 401k to have an after-tax effect of $37.34. On the right-hand side, say, okay, I want to start my Social Security benefit, right? I don't know, I don't think I will live that long. So I will start taking it at the discount, right? 2808. And then because I still want to match the same amount of money I got, so I have a shortfall of 1,000 something. So I will take that money from my 401k, which turned out to be 41,596 per year. From 401k, minus tax stuff, I have an after-tax effect, the same amount of money I'll get during 62 or 69 years old. Then, once I reach 70 years old, on the left-hand side, I would take my maximum Social Security, which is $3,734 a month. And then, well, 401k, I still have remaining money, but I can there's a formula I can get how much maximum I can get per year so that it will not deplete before my death. So which turned out to be close to $30,000 a year. So it ended up to be after-tax monthly income of $4,700 per month on the left side. On the right side, I can get more 401k because I didn't take as much money from 62 to 69 years old, but I can get about $53,600 from the 401k. And however, because of taxation and stuff like that, it turns out that the after-tax money is actually less than the left-hand side. So it sounds like if you put in the 401k with the 7.2 percent return, you might still be better off on the defer taking the Social Security benefit. Okay, that's just one scenario. I don't know. I haven't run all the exhaustively all the scenario, but this is I just give you a number as they come. Okay, what happened for the strategy 2? Investing in something like Roth or IUL, where is using after-tax money, but you never get taxed when you get withdrawal money. So again, I have two scenarios, 2A, 2B. Assuming I am in the 24% tax bracket right now. Sorry, I have to mute you again. Okay, assume I'm 24% tax bracket. That means I'm not going to have the maximum of the the 19,000-ish to the 401k. The tax after tax, I only have about 14,000, close to $15,000. So I'll put all the after tax money to $15,000 into the IUL or Roth or whatever the equivalent into it. And then I'm only using 6.07% average return in the IUL account to grow my investment. And then again, in during the 62 years old, I would take the $3,734 from my IUL, right? And then delay my Social Security benefit. And then because there's no tax implication, so I basically take exactly $3,734 a month, which is turn out to $44,800 a year. On the right-hand side, I will start taking the Social Security benefit as young as 62 years old, and then supplement the income from the IUL. And then by 70 years old, on the left side, I start to take Social Security benefit. And then I will take whatever the IUL can maximize to give it to me. And it turned out to be $6,492 per month after tax. On the right-hand side, totally I get $6,570. So looks like that this strategy actually, it really doesn't matter, but it seems to favor for me to start taking the money from Social Security benefit and let the money in the IUL grow a little bit longer. Oh, I'm coming to the end, and the time 1 hour time is up too. So here's the comparison. You can see that 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. That seems that you put the after-tax money in and grow it, and take early Social Security benefit. Isn't that great? Early Social Security benefit, I don't have to guess. By 62 years old, I take the money. And for the fact that I structure everything that I don't have any taxable income because all my investment and retirement investment is not taxable. And then I will get a lot out of it, right? As compared to using 401k, tax like crazy and stuff like that, you actually get extra $1,500 to $2,000 a month, right? Remember promo, you can get that extra $2,000 if you plan right. If you plan your retirement income correctly. A lot of people neglect the Social Security Social Security check is taxable. Whether it's taxable or not, it depends on how you structure your retirement income in holistic. So when I do planning, I do holistic planning. I don't do just whether in the ROI, the investment return, doesn't mean a thing if you don't calculate the tax implication into it as well. And that comes to the end of my seminar. And by the way, I offer for everybody who attend my seminar a free 30 minutes consultation. And that's the link. You can take your phone number or do a screenshot or scan me, and you can schedule a 30 minutes consultation, absolutely no obligation. And we can work out in your situation what would be best for you. Everybody is different. If you have less years to retirement, that might be a different story. If you have more years, that's a different story. I only give you one scenario, 45 years old female, and that's the number I came up. But anyway, so if you have a lot of additional questions, stuff like that, you're welcome to schedule a no obligation appointment with me. At this point, I'm going to open up for questions. If you have questions, either you type it on the chat or you can open up the mic. I already see a question coming up. Rental is gross or net income. Rental. So when people, so the taxability is based on taxable income. You file tax, that when you get to down to the line, I forgot line 9, line 10, I forgot which line it is. Then you will know what is the taxable income. It's based on taxable income. So of course you have to calculate your rental income minus all the depreciation or expenses and stuff like that, property tax and stuff like that. Then you come up with a taxable income. For a person who wants a consultation, great. Do you do me a favor? Just record. Make sure that you have that link with you. You can click in and you can find my availability time. You can book it. But I will jot down your name as well. Okay. I will watch out for your appointment. Okay. Anyone? Any questions? William is opening a mic. Please speak up if you want to.
Sorry.
You have a question, William?
Oh, my question is: every time you deposit it, is Uncle Sam match you, like they match for you?
Matching? Did you say matching?
You're talking about match $1,000 from Uncle Sam. So is it they always match?
No. So when I say $1,000, I'm using the 20% marginal tax bracket. For example, if you are in the 20% tax bracket, every $5,000 they would tax you $1,000, right? That's what it is. But however, if you put that money into the qualified plans like 401k or IRA, they will not tax you that year. Essentially, you get to keep the $1,000 they're supposed to tax you. That's all I mean, right? But eventually, when you take the money out from the qualified plan, every dollar is taxable. So essentially, then you're based on whatever the going marginal tax rate at that time, they will figure out how much you owe them. It's kind of someone kind of. I always give it a joke, right? So what is qualified plan? Qualified plan is kind of like, would you borrow money from someone? And then they said, okay, you ask them like, how much I have to pay you? What is the interest rate? And the borrower saying that, well, I don't know. I will tell you when it's time for you to pay me back. If someone say that, will you borrow money from them? Most people will say no. But this is exactly what it is. Uncle Sam say, okay, here's the dollar, and here's the money. There's the tax money you're supposed to pay me, but you can keep it right now. But how much you have to pay me back? I don't know. It depends on the tax rate at that time. I'll decide at that time. So that's what qualified plan is about.
I see. So this is assuming you early withdraw without the tax, without the penalty, right?
No, I didn't talk about early penalty. Like I'm talking about Social Security benefit will not be allowable in by 62. If you talk about 401k or qualified plan, yeah, I'm not in all my scenario. I didn't take it out until 62, right? So the penalty, yeah, it's not. Don't even go there. I mean, penalty means 10% penalty if you want to withdraw any money before 59.5. So in general, you don't want to touch the money until past, when you get 60 years old.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Any other question? If not, I enjoyed this session. I hope this is very informative for you. Hopefully you will learn something. Hopefully you will have a good new perspective how you plan for your retirement. And then you're welcome to book me a call. It's free. And I'll do my best to help you to orient in your financial planning. And thank you very much. And then I won't keep you for long. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time. And thank you and see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gunnar.